So, I've been MIA for a while. Have I got a lot to talk about. So, it's officially been 2 months, over 2 months, since the Winds of Change TV series was released. And obviously, it was a week-by-week type launch. Obviously, the episodes came out weekly, as you saw. And in between, I had some other small videos I put out. For example, the Fan Expo documentary for this year. And obviously, the Brand New Day trailer dropped, so I did a quick reacts video for that. But other than that, you may have noticed I really haven't been active after the TV series came out. And obviously, you know, a lot of things have been happening behind the scenes and all that. And, you know, am I quitting YouTube? That's the big question. To start things off, I will open by saying I am feeling okay. You know, I'm stable. I'm feeling great. It's been fun lately, but I can't say it the same last year. Last year, like 2025. My God, that was such a busy year. 2024 was also busy. Don't get me wrong, because that was the first time I was in this huge production project, which was the Thailand documentary. And that was obviously a learning experience because that was the first time I've done something that big of a scale. But that was kind of where everything kind of started, where this whole super stressed out phase of my life began. Obviously, the beginning of 2024 was very chill. Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire was about to release in March, and so that beginning of the year, that entire phase, obviously I was getting back into the Godzilla content, reviewing all that. I'm sure you guys saw. You guys definitely saw. And you know, that was the focus of that period all the way up to May. And after doing all that Godzilla content, obviously, I was also in school. I was studying, so my life wasn't all just Godzilla. So I had other stuff I was doing at the same time. I was helping Snack Attack, this snack store. I think it was a lucky draw. I already forgot. It's been so long. I think it's a lucky draw of the Gold Prime bottle. All it really did was just help them film a couple TikToks, and then obviously I had the owner on the podcast, and actually you're about to see I had him back on the podcast again last summer, and that episode is coming out this month. I know, we filmed it in July, and now it's June 2026. It's 11 months late, but you know what? Better late than never. Basically, that time was kind of chill. You know, there was stuff I was doing, but it wasn't so extreme yet. And after I came back from my cruise trip in May, that was when I was then tapped for the potential idea of serving on a missions trip. Now, obviously, I don't know what to say when it comes to like faith stuff, because obviously everyone's beliefs are different. Not everyone believes. Not everyone has, you know, a belief in God. Not everyone practices religion. Like, people have different religions, and I try not to dive into that, but I think that's kind of hard now, given that I have 2 major projects centered around mission trips, which is very much like a Christianity type thing. And so, you know, I've kind of dug that rabbit hole, but it's okay. It's okay. It's obviously a very personal thing. It's different for everyone. I was pitched the idea of going to this mission trip. By this point, I have not learned of the location or what we're going to do there or when we're going to do it. I just had the idea pitched to me. So kind of a Shark Tank pitch, if you will. And obviously, fast forwarding, I'm just going to spare you the details. Obviously, I decided to give it a shot. And obviously, the location was Thailand. And I'm going to be honest with you, the whole idea of turning that mission trip into a documentary didn't stem until, hear me out, until I got on the plane. The first flight to Korea was when the light bulb went off in my head that I can turn this into a documentary. Now, obviously by that point I was already filming. I was already walking around with the camera and capturing content. But the original idea was to just film. Just capture the content, and then maybe after the mission trip, I might just do a quick summary recap video. Kind of the videos that Fan Expo does every year. That was it. And then the idea of the documentary came as I was sitting there in my seat on the flight to Icheon. So, in case you haven't noticed, a lot of these things are very spontaneous for me. I don't really plan. Sometimes I can obviously plan, but some things just happen. And that was a great idea. It was. I don't regret it. Looking back now, I'm still very proud of that documentary. I don't regret it at all. But that also meant I learned of just how much effort it takes to put one of these things together. Especially if I'm operating on a low budget and a minimal amount of people helping me out. Obviously, I'm not some big studio. I'm one guy. I'm as independent as it gets. Regardless, the point is, that was my first exposure to just how much effort, how much of a commitment I will actually need to put if I am to go down this avenue again. Now, 2025. By this point, I was already tapped for round 2. The Mexico mission trip was up next. That was the follow-up. And by that point, I had this kind of confidence. Because after I came back from the Thailand mission trip, I got baptized 2 months later in October. And several of us on the mission team were also baptized. And I don't want to say it's because of this mission trip, but I have a feeling it's this mission trip kind of, pushed it to happen on the agenda. So at this point, personal faith stuff, obviously I did a big milestone thing in my life, and that was great. That was great. Still proud of that moment. And obviously the documentary then came out in December. It premiered in December, and then it actually released to the public beginning of 2025 in January. Because there were some small issues that the mission board in Thailand over there, they wanted to clear up first, make sure everything's all good. And then that's why it came out a lot later in 2025 instead of, I was hoping it came out in December to end off 2024, but it is what it is. Enter the Mexico missions trip. Now, obviously, mind you, I was doing so much other things at the same time for this channel. Obviously, the boys and I were just at it on the podcast. We have so much content we filmed. There's stuff that we filmed last year that's just coming out now. So that's how you know we really pulled our weight getting these type of content filmed. And obviously I do see the results. The payoff is not, obviously, I would hope for it to be better, but it's okay. The thing about content creation is you just gotta keep going. You just gotta keep going until you see success. Obviously, success isn't something that's given. It's something you have to earn. And, I'm still on that self-discovery path right now. But going back, at that point, I was already tapped for Mexico. And my idea for this mission trip this time, because of everything I've learned making that Thailand documentary, I was going to apply those principles to this mission trip. One of them is splitting up the huge amount of content and split it up into chunks where it's more digestible. I understand people's attention spans are so bad, and it's such a bad thing, but we can't do anything about it. You can't fight it. So the best thing to do is to work around with it. And so, obviously, the Thailand documentary was 3 hours and 46 minutes. That's longer than Endgame. Not as long as Return of the King, though, but I totally understand when some people said they just couldn't sit through the whole thing. That makes sense. That's such a long thing. So, the idea of turning the Mexico series into a TV series basically stemmed from that. That's why it's a TV series and not another documentary. But the thing about that mission trip was we actually didn't put much prep work into it. We didn't prep as intensely as Thailand into it. So my initial thought was this was going to be quite chill and we will have no issues getting this TV series done. And boy, was I so wrong. Now, I'm not pointing my finger and saying this was anyone's fault. No one's at fault here. No one did anything wrong. But I definitely shot myself in the foot because the mission trip was late August. It was around mid-August and it was only a week, so much shorter than the Thailand trip. So I thought, oh yeah, I got this. We can definitely get this series out. It's only 6 days. 2 of those days are just traveling. So, you know, this is not going to be an issue. We can get this done. I come back from Mexico, and literally the week after I was off to another retreat. So that was some time to wind down and just reset myself after doing that missions trip. But the thing about that is right after that small retreat, my last semester for university was starting. It was literally starting 2 days after I came back from that retreat. My God, that was such a busy semester. I had taken on a new job. It's a co-op job. For those of you who study in university, you probably know what a co-op is. And so suddenly I had this thing I have to put my commitment into. On top of that, I have regular courses in that semester. And the thing about that co-op job is I had to speed run it. If I didn't, I would not have graduated by now. I had 2 major obligations to go to, and I had to just push aside the TV series production and just focus on finishing that semester and finishing my entire university career strong. Some sacrifices had to be made, and therefore I couldn't get the TV series done because my editors are also students. We are all studying. So that was the main focus. And that's also why I don't think I uploaded much that season at all. I think I've done a few small Godzilla reviews every there and then we had a couple of things come out on the podcast. But other than that, I just had no time. No time to tap into the TV series because just I had studying to do and I had work to do. And I'm not throwing shade on what I did that semester. Don't get me wrong, it was such a tremendously fruitful experience. Like, I've learned so much from that job and I am so blessed to have worked there. I'm not going to say what it is. That was truly an experience I will never forget, and I'm very grateful that I got to have that experience. That also meant I had so much to do. Like, that's just the hard fact, is that there was a lot to do and I had a lot to study for as well. So I just didn't have time. The hours were obviously quite flexible, but that doesn't matter. The amount of work I had to do, that still added up all the time. So regardless, it was still a lot of stuff. So you could imagine by the time it hits December and Christmas was on the horizon, how relieved I was that the semester is over. Well, first of all, that was peak final season. Even though I only had 1 exam, I still have to study for it. Anybody that's watching this that also studies, you would understand. You would be able to relate with just how stressful university can be and how much of a toll it can take on you. And I don't talk about this side of my life much on camera. I tend to not share these. But, now that it's behind me, I am more comfortable to share about it. But you can imagine just the relief I had once the semester was done and I was able to really successfully say, I am done university. I'm done studying. I'm graduating. Now here's the catch. I wasn't actually going to walk the stage until this year because we have to wait for the spring semester to end first. So, what does that mean? It means from the time I actually finished university, which was December last year, I had January, February, and March, and of course, the whole first 3 weeks of April. So I had this whole period, this whole gap, before I actually walked the stage to kind of just chill and really reset. But I cannot do that yet. Oh no. that Mexico TV series, because I put it off, I put it aside during the fall, it's time to lock in and get that thing done, produced and edited and ready for release. Now, I will say in the beginning, the original anticipated release date for the TV series was going to be December 26th. It was going to come out on Boxing Day. I am so glad we made the decision to not do that and push the TV series back. Because obviously people are out there celebrating Christmas. Who's going to have time to sit down and watch a goddamn Mexico TV series on YouTube? Like, I'm so glad we changed the timing for that. But regardless, it didn't really matter because thank God we changed the time, because obviously it wasn't even edited by that point. The whole thing had not been touched yet. So thank God we made that change. So as soon as the clock hit 0 on January 1st, obviously I was taking the Christmas time off, celebrate Christmas with friends and family. I needed this kind of break after this long and stressful semester. The new anticipated release date was now March. And instead of releasing all the episodes in one day, the new plan was to drop each episode weekly as a normal TV show would. Even though I had time, I had to still speed run these 5 episodes. And I had all of January and half of February to do it. I had 1 month and a half to just lock in and get this damn series done. And there was a lot of issues behind the scenes. I'm not going to dive into exactly what they are, but there were so many technical difficulties. There was so many legal issues, especially with the music. I literally have clearance for a ton of the songs that you hear in the series. But for some reason, there was like 2 tracks that just constantly kept straight up blocking the video. Like literally the episode could not be seen by the public. Regardless, that and some other technical issues with editing, like software issues and stuff. Oh my God, I was ready to rip my hair out getting this thing done. So I just had the same amount of stress that I had that fall semester, this time with this TV series. By the time I got to Fan Expo, obviously I had the Fan Expo video to do. But I was like, I'm not going to even think about it yet. I'm going to just film all the content, capture all that footage when I actually go to Fan Expo, and then I'll just worry about editing and getting that video out later. That's exactly what happened. Eventually, by some miracle, the TV series was done. All the processing and all that stuff behind the scenes, approved, did all that. Perfect. And as you quite evidently saw, the TV series was successfully released week by week. Well, launch weekend we did 2 episodes, and then 3, 4, and 5 came out the following week. So the entirety of March, all 5 episodes were able to come out, as you saw. But after all that, now I truly felt the relief. I finally was able to sit back and go, oh, it's over. Now I tell all this, obviously I'm not going to talk about everything that was going on in my life during this period. Obviously, I had other things that was going on in personal life and all that. I just decided after the TV series release, I need a break. I really need a break. Like seriously, for my mental health's sake and just my well-being, I need a break. I need time for myself. When I need to lock in, yeah, I will lock in, but after all, I'm not a machine. I can only do so much. So I just made the conscious decision to just literally have time off and just be with myself. Now, one of the things I was doing behind the scenes, apart from editing the series, was also, of course, getting back into the Ninjago content. I said that at the very beginning of this year, I'm getting back into the Ninjago content because it's the 15-year anniversary. Ninjago was a big thing in my childhood, and I had a lot of ideas for Ninjago content that I was going to do on this channel. And I mean, there were some things behind the scenes that I tried to manifest but didn't really work out. I don't think I will share this now. Maybe a few months later, maybe I will. But let's just say I had some pretty big ideas for the Ninjago community, and I think the Ninjago community would have appreciated had it worked out and I was able to do these videos. But unfortunately, some things just don't work out. It fell through, and I'm not going to talk about it, but it would have been nice. It is what it is. Oh well, I'm at peace with it, but it would have been nice. But one of the things that was guaranteed going to happen was, of course, the reviews. I have been collecting all the old Ninjago sets from when it started, from in 2011 with the pilot season. And I had a good chunk of the sets from season 1 to 3. I couldn't get all the sets. I don't think any of us could get all the sets. None of us could afford all the sets back then. And obviously now I'm at a position where I am able to acquire the other sets. That's what I've been doing. Now, oh my god, let's not hide from the fact that those sets are so expensive now. The Great Ninjago inflation is actually insane, and up to this day, I still do not plan to get DX Lloyd because I am not paying $1,000 for a single minifigure. That is ridiculous. But I think now it's June, right? So it's been half the year already. I think the Ninjago train is starting to go down. But obviously, you still have yet to see a single piece of content that I promised that I was going to do. And don't worry, it's still coming. I know, it should have been out long time ago. I literally bought all the 15th anniversary sets. I have the Old Town sitting in my studio. I have the Blacksmith Shop, the Character Shrine, Lloyd's Titan Mech. I'm going to get that trashy looking X1 Ninja Charger that's coming out in August. I'm up to date, and I have been collecting all the pilot sets, including the Lightning Dragon battle. And if you know your lore, you will know how expensive that set is. All the sets that I'm missing from the pilot season to reboot it, I have them all now. And I've been spending the last 3 months collecting them, buying them from suppliers, finding good deals in Bricklink. I have been working behind the scenes. Granted, I've been spending, I should correctly word it, but stuff is happening. I've been cooking. And I have some sets from the later seasons. Not all, but I've got some from Tournament of Elements up to Hands of Time. And I have stuff, obviously, back in 2018 to 2020. I have done Ninjago reviews, obviously. I've done some stuff from Oni Trilogy, Prime Empire. I think I've done something from Master Mountain. I have those sets. Like, I can always revisit those sets, like those times. But the thing about the Ninjago content is that this was something I wanted to do in January, but because of the TV series and just, everything else going on, I just still haven't gotten around to it. And my living room filled with those Ninjago sets. It has literally occupied the entire room. There's barely space to move around. I have been cooking, so I should probably get those reviews done. I should probably do that. But because I said I just needed time off, I needed a break, that's why I just haven't gotten around to filming those reviews yet. And, I think now I'm in a much better state. I'm obviously back to making content again. You can see on the podcast, we're steamrolling like 5 episodes this month alone, including the second Snack Attack episode. So we're back. We back. I'm feeling so much better. I feel rejuvenated, and I'm ready to actually get back on the content grind. So that you can expect the Ninjago stuff beginning this summer. Better late than never. That just tends to be a thing for me now. I'm just always late to the party, but better late than never. Now, what about Godzilla? I'll be honest with you, from the very start, I have never been a dedicated Godzilla fan. I've never been a hardcore Godzilla fan. The only reason why I just stuck with the Godzilla stuff was literally because of the success that I've gotten out of it. And the stats don't lie. You can see it. When Godzilla vs. Kong was out in 2021, I was popping off with those reviews. I bought those first few Playmates toys purely by accident. I just stumbled upon them. I forgot where. I think it was London Drugs or something. It was some random department store. I just thought, ooh, those are pretty cool Godzilla toys. And, I did a small video, a review of them, and it just took off from there. And of course, the rest is history. I got all the other toys, and, I was just growing from that. But, personally, look, Godzilla's great and all. I think he's a great character. He's definitely one of the most famous IPs out there. But me personally, Godzilla has never been like a core childhood thing for me. Therefore, I don't really have a deep relationship with that franchise as much as a lot of people do. And I respect the fans. Trust me, I think the Godzilla fan base is one of the better ones. Way better than Star Wars. Not as divisive as Star Wars, that's for sure. So in 2024, when the new Empire was out, I got back into the train because I know the capabilities I have with Godzilla content, and that's why I went back into it. Now I'm back at that stage where I have other things to focus on. I have other things to be hyped about. And I think this just comes with my personality, and the thing with me is that I just can't stick with one thing. Like, I have multiple passions. There's so many different things I like. And that's just not with interest too. It's just things I do in general. I don't like to stay in one lane. I have to have a spread. Try different things. I can't put all my eggs in one basket. I have a bit of this, have a bit of that. Having variety is what gives me that motivation. Because if I always commit to one item and one item only, I'm going to get bored of it so quickly. And I instantly start treating it like a chore, like a hassle, like an obstacle. And the fun, the passion, and the love in it is just extinguished. But I know definitely there are some people who, are extremely satisfied with just having one passion, having one interest. And that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If I just turned my channel into a Godzilla dedicated channel, I think I would have quitted YouTube by now. I would have literally dropped YouTube because I will no longer have an interest in it. I will start treating Godzilla like a 9-to-5 job. I have many other passions, as you can clearly see. I was just talking about one, Ninjago. I have a deeper relationship with Ninjago, obviously, because that literally is my childhood. That is my childhood. So maybe to a lot of hardcore Godzilla fans, this is the same level for me, Ninjago. So there you go, just putting that into perspective. I have not completely abandoned Godzilla content, I can tell you that. I still have so many Godzilla products I have yet to open and tap into and do reviews on. They're all just sitting in a mountain of boxes in one of my storage rooms. And I will get to them. The thing about what I plan to do is, obviously I've got the Ninjago content, but I will also switch it up and also do some Godzilla content at the same time. There you go, having an even spread. And I know the algorithm does not like that, but it's just how I roll, man. I can't do it. I can't stick with one thing. I can't stick with one thing. So there's your little update for the Godzilla content. That's kind of what you can expect with the main channel going forward for now. Maybe I'll do other stuff in the future, but for now, obviously, let's keep it down a notch. Let's not overload with things again. So mainly the main channel is going to be Godzilla Ninjago. Now obviously I've had other stuff like the podcast. You can see the podcast is full steaming. That's going to continue. We have so much unreleased footage, so we still have plenty of content. We have plenty of fuel for that channel. That channel is not going to be bled dry anytime soon. And in music, you may have noticed that Big City Dreams is back. Big City Dreams has essentially been, I guess it's been rebooted. It has a soft reboot. It's so different from when we first started in 2019. I thought that project was long gone after 2021. I thought Big City Dreams was over. That's something in the past. We move on from it. This new vision we have that started in 2024, I'm so glad we've went through with it, because sometimes that should let that be a lesson, guys. If you're gonna bring something back, don't bring it back the same way. Reboot it, revisit it, have a completely new vision. And that's what we did. There's so many things music-wise I am actually so excited for. Like that passion, that motivation I had is back with music. And trust me, making music is so insanely difficult. It's so insanely difficult. One of the things I personally have been doing is actually training to sing. Now, I am not a singer. I am not a singer at all. Let me be clear, I am horse crap. There's a difference between talent and hard work. I am not talented in vocal range, but doesn't mean I can't try. I've been practicing, and obviously the biggest song that we've made came out last year, Unbroken, and as soon as that song dropped, I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited for the future, because that song is proof that if you put your heart and mind and focus into something, you can create something extremely good. Of course, Timeless Dream and Serenity, those were kind of just testing the water song, because obviously that was the first time we were coming back after years of hiatus, years of, what I essentially thought was over. Like, Big City Dreams was done. It's over. So putting out those first 2 singles was kind of a test in the waters type thing. It was like, we have actual original music now. We're no longer doing covers. Let's see how it does. And that's exactly was the objective of those 2 songs. And Unbroken was the big hits that we were gambling on. Like, this is the song. This is like the radio-friendly song. This is the big thing that will define Big City Dreams. And, it did way better than we expected. That song released around October, I think. So this is when I was doing the studying and working at the same. This was during that loaded semester. So at least there was something I was able to put out during that time, because we've done all the prep work for that song already in the summer. Music video, obviously making the song itself. That's the song itself. I think I started writing it around this time last year. So the whole process started from June till I think August. That was when the song was done. So 2 months to make the actual song, and then we did the music video late September, and then the song eventually released in October. So you can see, for one 3-minute song, the amount of stuff it takes behind the scenes to get this 3-minute song out. Yeah, it's not an easy industry. That's for sure. I guess I can say this, which is we've been working on an album, and it's not been easy. Obviously, an album takes a lot of work because it's a lot of songs. Still haven't decided on how many songs are actually on this album, but we've been cooking. Not an easy cook, but we've been cooking. And obviously, at the beginning of this year, we put out the EP, Joyful Love. Those 4 songs just belong together. We've been working on those songs last semester during my extremely busy semester. That was a side project because I had a couple friends who was studying in music, and those songs were their final projects. So I was helping them with that. And obviously, after they got their projects done, got their grades back, they're like, well, we don't want to waste these songs. These are good songs. Why would we just do them for the sake of school? And I said, you know what? Let's release them. Let's put them into one cohesive EP, and we put those 3 songs together. And then I had a different version of Unbroken, which was the stripped version, so the more laid back version. So I said, you know what, let's stick that in there. It works perfectly with the theme of the EP. It's all romantic songs. And then we put that out, I think it was in February this year. Yeah, was it February? I think it was February. It's out now, so go listen to those songs. So again, that added to why it was so busy. This album is really just a Big City Dreams soul project. So the other guys in Big City Dreams have been working on this, cooking the lyrics, cooking on the beats. We have some pretty cool production elements in this album. And, there's still some songs that may make it on the album. There's some songs that will not be on the album. Like, we still haven't decided that yet. And the idea is for this to be a summer release, because this album's got a huge summer type vibe. That is assuming we finish all the songs in time. If we can actually get the album done. But I will not confirm anything yet, because it's still in that phase. Things may change, so I don't want to give false hope. But that's something we've been working on. Now that the Joyful Love EP is out and everything, this album is something we've been focusing on. And one of the songs that's going to be a single, oh my god, it is so damn catchy. I cannot wait for you guys to hear it. That's what I'm saying. Big City Dreams is back in full force, and I'm very, very excited for the future of music that we've been doing. So I hope after all this explaining, you can kind of see where I'm coming at, why I needed this mental break, why I needed this reset just time off for myself after the TV series was out. So I hope that puts things into perspective. And like I said, we ain't done. There's a lot of things we're cooking. There's a lot of things coming down the pipeline for Big City Dreams, for this main channel, for the podcast channel, even just for reels. You may have noticed I've been posting some cooking reels. That's also a thing. There is stuff coming down the pipeline, so don't you worry. So I hope that gives you a little update on what's been going on. And, I'm here to say I'm back. And why I've been MIA for these past few months. I have now successfully walked the stage. I crossed the stage in April. And I'm just thinking back to when I first graduated high school. How scary that was. Because that was 12 years of my life that was over. And I was starting a new chapter in university, which is so different from high school. And now that new chapter is done. So here's the actual footage of me at the graduation ceremony, walking up that stage and receiving that bachelor's degree. Oh my God, look at me. I would play the audio, but they're playing some copyrighted song over it, so I can't really without demonetizing this video, but there you go. Honestly, I'm old. I'm so, oh my God, time is crazy. Time is actually crazy. So obviously that's one of the major things that's been going on in my personal life is that. And I'm glad it happened. And, just having able to make time now with my friends to actually do stuff with them. And the same goes with my family. Like friends and family is obviously something that's just so important. And, I see what's happening with KSI, who's obviously super passionate about his work, but unfortunately he's sacrificed all that time with his family because of his work, because of his career. And it's not a bad thing, but, never neglect the people in your circle. Never neglect the people who love you. They are your lifeline. And I see that, and not to throw shade on JJ, but, that gives me an example of why I need to be more active with my people, the people in my circle. And that's something I was definitely able to really, really relive again these past 5 months or so, give or take. And, obviously I had a few friends at my graduation. Obviously couldn't bring everyone, but it was like these moments where I'm not thinking about hitting the record button or sitting in front of the computer screen to edit, where I'm not thinking about just content, work, stuff, just having life, just thinking about life, enjoying life. That's something that is just so important, and I cannot highly recommend this enough. When you're able to make time, make the most out of your free time. I get it. Sometimes we want space for ourselves. Sometimes we just want our own time, our own moments to just be by ourselves. It's just as important to have this with your friends and family. And so that was what I was able to really experience in that time. And yeah, I'm ready to get back to work now. I'm ready to obviously build a career myself, and I'm back in the business. But this was a definitely much needed break. These past, I can't really say past 6 months, because I was working on a TV series at the beginning of this year. So my break was really from March till now. So 4 months, yeah. So I can really only say I've been in MIA these past 3 months. Yeah, we'll say 3 months. Yeah. So there you go. I hope that sheds some light. I hope that that's a life update. It's a pretty lengthy life update, I can't lie. Now you know where I've been, why I've been missing for 3 months after the TV series was out, and what the future plan is now going forward into the rest of this year. Yeah, so good to be back. Thank you for your patience. I hope you all understand, and I'm sorry if some of you are like, man, where's that Ninjago content? Trust me, it's coming soon. I'm not going to break my promise. I have been cooking. I have been cooking, and you'll see, soon come, soon come. So yeah, thanks for watching, and subscribe, obviously. Turn on the bell if you want to be notified of the Ninjago content, because that's just going to be steamrolling very quickly, and it's going to be really easy to miss. So I highly recommend you have that bell on, so as soon as those videos drop, you'll be notified. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one then. Peace.